Greetings and salutations, friends. Welcome to our very first amazing. I'm going to claim it, right?
Yes. No proclaim, not a proclamation.
Just a, what is the verb for that?
What?
Clamation? But what's up, friends? Welcome. This is The Vital Check with your friendly neighborhood MD, Dr. Joe, alongside
DJ Critical.
And Melissa, the future millionaire.
Yes. So what's up, guys? Happy New Year.
Hi, what's going on?
Happy 2022.
Yes.
Big facts.
It's been an eventful year thus far.
It's only been 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Just 3 weeks.
Yeah, pretty much.
We got passport stamps. We got
Yeah.
five-figure months. You know, we're doing good this month.
5 finger months?
Figure.
Oh, yes, a lot of figures.
Dollars.
Yes,
Yeah.
revenue, money in, money
I
in.
forgot she always speaks in currency and money.
I do.
And inches. I've been losing, a
Hey,
little
yo.
bit inches.
Yeah.
Losing inches.
Oh,
Losing
okay.
inches, people.
Oh, losing. Okay. Hey.
What's
I don't know if you
wrong
can
with
gain.
you?
I mean, I guess a booty. You could gain inches in your booty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You
we're,
know,
yeah.
natural or BBL route.
Whatever floats your boat.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't
makes
mind.
you
I don't
feel
mind
good.
either.
Of course not. Of course not.
So 2022, right? This is when the gyms go hard.
Mm-hmm.
New year, new me, right?
Yes. Yeah.
All these resolutions, and I think one of the interesting things about New Year's is the sense of renewal, but also dread, right? What didn't you accomplish in 2021, and how it was a dud? COVID being a cock blocker that it is. And then also, 2022, we had this new opportunity, new year to accomplish new things, or maybe the old things, right? I don't think we should stop with just January. I think we're always evolving.
Changing. Yeah, always changing, always evolving. It should be an all year, all the time, continuous, process. And not just like just the beginning of the month, I'm going to try something new. And then for the other remaining 11 months is just to shit.
I agree. I think millennials and Gen Z, all of us, but I'm going to speak for millennials. Those are my people, right? We get wrapped up in this toxic positivity where it's just like, I'm going to start this. I'm going to go to the gym 6 times a week. I'm going to eat salads every day. And it's just like by March, you're burnt out. So really, what was the reason for all of this in January if it's not going to be sustainable? So I think that's what I'm focusing on. So I don't have any resolutions. Y'all got resolutions?
Nope.
No, I think I have
Same
intentions.
Okay, intentions. You want to speak more about that?
I think I'm doing great.
You are.
You
are great.
You're a star.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I think a lot. My intentions are to be more graceful. I think it's a challenging one because it's easy to judge people, right? It's easy to kind of be angry and like have that wrath. But I think, right, like something, even our text chat yesterday, right? Right, like I was already upset, and I was like, you know what? Take a step back, like, right, like you have a lot going on. Like I have to extend grace when right, because I wanted to extend it to me. Like I was 20 minutes late today, and I'm like, damn, like I am using other people's time. I need to be cognizant of that, right? Like, so it's hard to show grace, but I'm a woman of God, and then it's one of the staples in the word. So extending grace is one of my intentions for the year, and then just being well, whatever that may look like. Some months maybe eating my heart out. The other months it may be
that's okay.
Literally running every day. So I mean, being the best version for my daughter, my husband, my friends, my parents,
And for yourself.
and myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. I feel like that's always my intention or my goal. I do want to start meeting people where they're at. I think a lot of times you're like, oh, I can improve them or I can help them. It's like, well, just see who they are, where they're at.
That's a big one for me.
And then you navigate your relationship with them, whether that's your family members, your friends, a romantic partner, you want to make sure you're not trying to extend, or I'm sorry, you don't want to like
project.
Yeah, like who you want them to
the,
be, or like, oh, they have so much potential.
Oh my gosh, that was me literally last week.
Yeah, so I think that's a really big thing for me. Like, I see such potential in all the people around me. Because I'm like, I want everyone around me to be great. I want everyone to be this. It's like, girl, worry about yourself, you know? So that's definitely my intention for this year.
Yeah. And because that happened to me last week, I also said, right, I called it expendable energy, right? I'm going to match the energy that's put out to me.
Yeah.
Because I did, like last week, I was excited. I'm like, all right, I'm getting everyone in my husband's family passports, right? I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to make the appointment.
Yeah, you're doing a lot. You're doing too much. Too much.
My second middle name is doing the most, guys. So, and then that just made me realize, like, you need to have a seat, right? Like, you have to meet people where they're at, right? Yeah. So I think I learned very early on the skill of self-advocacy, when to ask for help. And I think that's a skill that not a lot of people have, right? I think our cultures have been built on asking for help is, right, you're weak, or you don't have it. So I think, you know, because of the field that I decided to pursue, you sink if you don't ask for help. So that's something that if I need help, like ask Melissa, I'm like, all right, so when are you going to help me do TikTok? Right. So, but
Melissa
I think,
be like, no.
Yeah. She's like, I have my life planned out for the next year.
I have a video right here. Watch it.
No, but
ass though. Like I
am. No, she did. And I'm going to watch it, guys. I
do
have
the
it
same
next
thing
week.
to him. So at least y'all know I love you guys equally.
I was like, here's the video.
Yes. She told me the same thing. I'm going to watch it. I will pay and I will watch.
I was like, Melissa, no, I'm not.
Yes.
Actually. And I was like, oh, wow, okay.
Yes.
But you learned. You teach a man to fish. He eats forever.
Yes. Yeah. And the horse in the water too.
But sometimes right? I don't mind having a plate of fish. Just give me the plate.
No. I'm not a good cook, so y'all don't want me cooking anyway. I'll teach you to cook.
You're doing pretty solid so far.
My mom says I'm alive. She's just like, stop saying you can't cook. You're alive. I'm like, that should not be.
I'm surviving.
The goal, like just
like
survive.
I'm making food to not die.
Just merely not die. Yeah.
She's so rude, but she's so right, I guess.
Yeah.
She has a point.
Right, so New Year also brings in someone's birthday.
Yeah, mine, DJ Critical.
Capricorn in the house.
Yeah,
just
big
a
caps.
plug though, Capricorns are a headache, guys.
I do get along best with them, though.
Really?
Yeah,
Capricorns
Shakira,
are amazing people, creatures, human beings. Like we encompass every like sign.
Shut it.
I just think you need Capricorns, I guess, to start the year off, right? Yeah, you need their energy.
Jesus is a Capricorn.
Okay.
He is.
Well,
I mean, that's
December
something.
25th is kind of arbitrary.
No,
so we don't really know.
It's Capricorn season.
I love that. I'm gonna have to start saying that.
Jesus is a
like,
Capricorn.
Sky Daddy is a Capricorn, so.
So we're gonna bring some merch. Jesus is a Capricorn.
Checklist.
I do feel like Leos, because of the crazy energy, do get along with the crazy energy of a Capricorn, but y'all do have an energy that is quite unmatched. Yeah, which is a great thing.
Thank you.
Unique.
Thank you.
But
Yes.
it's just like,
I mean, low key, like I even prayed that my daughter's not a Capricorn,
Not?
and luckily she became an Aquarius. Although you know they're interesting too, but
yeah,
But get big caps. Big caps. Yeah,
but
so
no capping.
No capping. It was my birthday. And I took a trip to this island, you know.
just an island.
A group of them.
A group of, it's a lot of them.
And
God
what
did
is
a
this
little hustle.
island called?
The Maldives. I went to the Maldives by myself.
Okay.
Fortunately, because it was a good trip. And you know, I have this thing where after I toured Europe, probably in like 2015, I just told myself that every birthday I'll try to like get out the country or spend it somewhere else. And like you said, COVID is a cock blocker and a travel blocker as well.
Yeah.
So the last few years, I didn't get to experience my experiences that I wanted to experience. So, you know, now they're backlogged and I'm bringing them out. So I went to the Maldives for like a week. very serene and relaxing. And
What made you choose that particular location?
because I've seen all celebrities going there,
Yes.
and usually they go to very nice places.
Yeah.
Because in August I went to Turks too,
Okay.
which is also Ashanti goes there all the time. Hey Ashanti. So I was like, I need to experience this, and like I just want to experience things.
Okay.
So, Maldives was great. I relaxed. I went scuba diving. Well, snorkeling.
Well, snorkeling is like on the level.
Yeah. So snorkeling, I didn't
Scuba
really
diving, you go
Yeah,
in.
you're
like
a
I scubaed by
professional.
accident, but it was meant to be snorkeling. And that was really cool. I went to a sandbank.
What's that?
So I learned about a sandbank. So a sandbank is like it's like a pile up of sand in the middle, like literally in the middle of the ocean, and like depending on the tide, like you can't see it.
Okay.
So like if it's a low tide, you can go and like it's like a isolated island of sort, like a beach, but just in the middle of
The ocean.
you know what a sandbank is?
Yeah.
Oh, because you're just like, am I explaining it right?
No, yeah, you're fine.
Oh, okay, cool. So so that was an experience because it was just like, like you're walking on water, kind of like in the ocean. Like,
Yeah, like Jesus the Capricorn.
yes, I called myself Young Moses actually.
Oh, you was part.
You part of the sea?
Yeah.
So wait, so how do they know where the sandbank is?
Well, I guess
It doesn't shift; it just stays there.
it stays there, but I don't know if this is like regular, like how the world works, but like how shallow the water is, like a different color. So like closer to the beach is like clear, and then when you go out, it's like a aquamarine, which is like shallow.
We don't really have in New York.
And then
These dirty.
Yeah.
check my TikTok, Big
waters.
DJ Critical,
Atlantic Ocean's a little filthy.
or you can check my Instagram. It's in there, so you can get a visual at
like you were
DJ
there.
Critical.
Be
Yeah,
like you were there.
and then the farther you go out is like more deep blue,
Right.
where it's like you're
In danger.
yeah. So
Sharks.
I stayed in the blue greenish area.
The light colors.
And at any point when you were like planning your trip or while you were there, did like cost or money come to mind, or you were just
No,
like,
I'm
just
rich.
gonna-
No, I'm not rich. I'm lying.
Okay.
Yes. I planned ahead,
Okay.
and I would say the Maldives was like it's known for like its luxury, and it's the flights are usually a lot. But I did it on a small scale. One, because I was going by myself, so I personally don't need a lot of like lavish
I'm
things.
going out. I'm going there for my 35th, and it's gonna be lush.
I'm pretty simple. So yeah, I did it on the smaller scales. Like
Okay.
I went to one of the real like quiet islands, and
Just like your personality.
yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
So yeah, I planned ahead. I picked a affordable resort, and they had a nice infinity pool. They took me on little excursions. They had like decent food. Like,
How's the food? What's like?
I
their-
noticed because I stopped in Dubai coming back, and I was talking to somebody from Morocco, and he was, telling me about his experience in Maldives. He was like, they don't like hot food, like it's just warm, like lukewarm, which was bugging me out the first, because I wanted to turn up their little heater thing. I'm like, yo, why is this?
Put this up, please.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, why is after like 2 minutes I'm there at the table and my food is like cold? But he said that's just them, like they just don't eat hot food. But yeah, it was an experience. I'm glad I went. What's my next one? I want to do Bora Bora, then I want to do Australia and Japan. So
Oh, I want to do Australia for a New Year.
I want to do Australia, but I'm not gonna hold you. They have Satan's animals in Australia. Like they're just
kangaroos.
no. Like you haven't seen on TikTok and YouTube the amount of creatures that just exist in Australia that do not exist anywhere else. Like
No,
the
ma'am.
spiders are the size of like
A room.
yeah,
No,
they're huge.
I haven't seen
And
no.
snakes just be popping out of people's toilets.
Oh,
and saying
no.
this stuff. Exactly. So I was like, yo, I'm down, but I need to know how down. Like, am I prepared for the terror that it could ensue?
Oh yeah, I am doing Dubai next year, like for my birthday, like solely Dubai. Because when I came back, I was like in Dubai for like a day, and I was like, oh, I really like it here. So
I just like their laws are just scary to me.
Their laws are scary. My parents just came back from Dubai because they're rich. They went to Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Saudi Arabia. And they loved it. They were like, everything seems luxurious, and they just enjoyed every experience.
Yeah, the people was telling me like it's safe, it's quiet.
Yeah, they took an Uber out there. They were like, the Ubers out there are so much cleaner.
Yeah, they held DJ Esco for 56 nights for a little weed.
Wow, I didn't even.
That's Future's DJ.
I did not. I did not.
It produced a really good album though.
Is it a Future album?
Mm-hmm.
Was it Hendrix?
No, it's called 56 Nights.
Oh, then.
Oh,
That's good. That's good.
oh wait, I think it's sneezing coming. Oh, it's not here.
Oh, okay, good.
You're gonna sneeze. Right, so we're gonna lean into this. We're going to Dubai in January
Yes, travel tips.
of 2023. Right, so a lot of times when I tell people when they're like, oh, like, how do you travel so much and what do you do? I don't make enough money. The first thing is a sinking fund. Do we know what that is?
No.
All right, let me school you on what a sinking fund is. I have so many of them. I have one for my pet. I have one for home repairs because the house does not respect you. But a sinking fund essentially is you work backwards, right? So let's say we research and we find out this trip for Dubai is going to cost $3,000. So we put aside.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right. We would put aside like a bank account or something, and we would split up $3,000 over 12 months and how much we'd have to put in every single month to get to that $3,000. It's really just a good way to cash fund things, so you're not living off of the credit cards. Which, by the way, guys,
The feds.
yeah. So the interest rates are going up, which means if you're on a variable, like which credit cards you do on a variable interest rate or your student loans, the interest is going up.
The price is going up.
Yeah, so
God damn.
FYI for everyone.
I sent it to my husband last night.
Yes, interest rates are going up. So like the positive is that the high yield savings, those interest rates are probably going to go back up as well. But, the trade-off is debt.
God damn it.
Yeah, so that's just something, a little friendly reminder for those. So you definitely want to create a sinking fund if you're going to be planning big trips, especially to Dubai or the Maldives, right? So where it's going to be like, oh, this is going to be a pretty penny.
Yeah.
Yup.
Pretty.
So you definitely
renting a
want to
Lamborghini when I get there.
Oh.
I'm
Is it going to be gold plated too? Because they have a lot of those, I heard.
Wow,
I'm
looking like
getting
a
a
wealth.
Yaris.
It
One
is
of
a
one.
big birthday next year. So, we're not going to say the...
Every birthday is a big birthday.
It's
Another year life is a blessing.
Big birthday. It's that big.
Milestone.
So, yeah,
Like 20,
might as well
20 something.
throw a couple of thousand around, right?
Yeah.
Besides sinking funds, I definitely tell people to check Google Flights. Hopper. I don't purchase on Hopper because I don't really like purchasing from third party. You definitely can speak to that.
I hate it.
Yeah, third party purchasing really takes away a lot of your options and a lot of your flexibility with negotiation with different companies.
Yes.
I'll just speak on like the recent Mexico, right?
Tulum. So I was supposed to go to Tulum,
Yes.
and the person I was supposed to go with, for whatever reason, couldn't go. So I had a very
critically single.
yeah, I had a difficult time trying to get reimbursed or at least a credit for those flights and that trip. And it was like between the airlines, the resort was pretty quick, but like the airlines and Expedia, trying to like navigate between them, and each of them telling the blame of, oh, you got to go to here, you got to go to here, you got to go to here. So that was a headache.
Right. So my way around it, which a lot of people don't know, is if you see a price for like something on Expedia or Orbis, which we've all used, you can 99% of the time get the
Price
same
match it
price from the specific
airline.
company. Yeah.
Awesome.
So you can call American Airlines. I just rather deal with them specifically.
Yes.
So if I need to cancel or if I need to change,
You go straight to them. Yep.
Yeah, we were trying to get me added to the trip, and they were just like, no.
No. Yeah.
Right. So you definitely want to try. You can check and see pricing on the third party, which I highly recommend.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
For purchasing, I do lean towards
Yes, you
purchasing.
were attempting. You was pretty close. Like
Yeah.
you was down.
Yeah.
I was gonna have a trip with Melissa to Tulum.
Yeah, I'd be down. I work remote.
I want to do a eco-friendly Tulum. I've seen very nice things about that.
I seen one because I'm planning to reschedule it pretty soon, and it was cool. I seen a little,
I think me and Mexico are over, but I did go to Tulum in November, and I'm supposed to go to Cabo.
Cabo. Yeah, I was about to say that.
But I don't know.
I've never been to Cabo.
I also don't know. I don't know. So I've been to Cancun. I went to Cancun in 2018 with my family. It was amazing. I had an amazing time. And then I went to Tulum, and I went to Playa del Carmen.
I've never been to Mexico.
Ever?
Ever?
That doesn't seem.
It's like the cheapest.
Yeah, that's.
Everybody. I always go to the lavish places like London, Paris,
Yeah, like you've been to like
Switzerland, like Germany, Amsterdam,
Amsterdam was dope.
Croatia.
I love Croatia.
Greece.
Croatia was one of my favorite places.
Africa, Johannesburg, Cape Town. Yeah, but I haven't been to Mexico.
Mexico is nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're going to Cabo in July.
Colombia, like
I do want to go to Colombia. We were supposed to go to Colombia in 2020.
Yes.
And COVID said no.
Cock blocker COVID.
Yeah, I was supposed to go to Bali and Thailand that year as well.
Oh, me too.
I went to Thailand too.
Yeah, I remember you were in customs for like 20 hours. It was like a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to reschedule Thailand.
I also need to
traveling.
reschedule Bali. But the thing is, so we're going to like lean into millennials, these PTO days, right?
Yeah.
So,
You know, honestly, my husband hates me for it. I just don't take pay.
that's not bad. I mean, it's not good. It's not good.
Well, the problem is, and this is an issue, right? Initially, my job did not offer maternity leave. So I had to take all my vacation days and all my sick days as my maternity leave, right? So now I'm afraid. I have like PTSD from that. Even though now we have some remnants of maternity leave, like pay.
Yeah.
I'm like stingy with my PTOs. Like I'd rather bank it. I have like 100 something hours, which is not a lot, but with COVID, I was like, I can't trust it. So I'd rather just like not get paid. That makes no sense, but you know what happens when you're working.
It forces your
that
hand.
field.
Yeah, we live in a country that forces your hand where you have to, go unpaid or just experience burnout. And so one of my closest friends who works for a really big company, she's also in tech. One of the companies that just is not keeping up with the time. So she works for a really big company in tech and she only gets 10 days for the year. And she had an emergency at the beginning of the year, like the first week of January, and she had to use 3 days.
Oh my gosh. And then there's a week left.
Yeah, and now she has 7 days.
Wellness.
And she's like in a wedding or something in May. So she's like, yeah, I want to go to Bali, but I'll have like 2 days.
Yeah, just don't get paid.
I mean, I mean, is that can tell? Yeah, it's like that doesn't
that's from
work
a place
for
of
everyone.
privilege, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I don't know. She has bills. She just got a car, so
these bills they're trash.
It's a wild place to be. Where with teaching, and I'll speak from both sides. With teaching, you get 10 a year, and they roll over. But then you also get like the holidays and stuff.
Right.
You don't really need to unless you're sick or you have a really big reason. You usually don't need to take vacation from teaching because you're going to have some sort of vacation. And then they roll over. So when I left teaching, I had like 80 days in the bank. But they only pay you for half. So it's like
always trying to.
I should have,
Should have prepped a little bit more for your departure and then use them days.
But then they also don't let you.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, if you use more than 4 days, you need to have like a doctor's note. I was just like,
we could make those up. I don't recommend it, especially because
I don't write it.
A doctor
I do not
here.
prescribe for other people, and I do not write doctor's notes. Just let that be clear.
But I mean, there are people that can get you notes.
I mean, that's how my friends got out of the Expedia. They had to.
Oh, I remember that.
They had to write.
Present a note saying that
they wrote each other notes.
I remember that. I remember that. And I was just like, that's amazing. But now I work for a company where I have unlimited PTO.
What?
Yeah. So I started in October and I've already so I have tomorrow and Tuesday off just because I want to. And then in February, I took a week off. And so by the time I'm there for like 4 months, I've already taken 10 days because I also took a week off in November.
You have unlimited PTO.
That's
Correct.
crazy. You sound like a cop out here.
A cop?
Well, cops have unlimited sick, I guess.
But unlimited sick, I won't. We're not saying names. But I have a friend who's NYPD, and when you use the sick day, you are changed to your house.
Yeah,
you cannot
that's
go
true.
Anywhere.
Right.
Because they check on you.
Yes, they pop
that's
up.
wild.
I
The
don't
cops
like
will
that.
pop up.
Yeah.
Yes. So my friend was actually sick, and then she left her apartment to go get food, and they were calling her like, "Where are you?"
Dang.
She's like, "Oh, Wendy's." Yeah, so I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want that. No.
Yeah, I have unlimited PTO, and then I have 12 health days, like mental health days.
Oh,
so they encourage you to take like one a month. If you want to do like a 3-day weekend or things like that. So that's where I feel like most companies need to be moving towards, just
100%.
to improve
morale,
the functionality, the morale, the productivity. Like, I feel good about working when I'm working because I know like my mental health is respected, my boundaries are respected. I can take time off if I need and not worry like, oh my God, I only have like one day left for the next 8 months of the year. So it's really important. I think we doubled back, but I'll continue. It's really important that when you're like looking for a new job or you're trying to apply for a job that you really make sure that they're speaking to who you are as a whole person.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And I was reading a Twitter thread yesterday, or was it you, Melissa? I don't know. Everything blurs in my mind.
It could be.
Oh no, it was a chick. She was like, oh, got it. So pretty much, she had like 4 or 5 standard questions you should be asking of your employer. So when you go for that interview and they're asking you all these questions, right? These are questions that you need to ask of them.
Yeah.
And then I guess she is a hiring manager or someone who determines who gets hired, and in the comments she was like, my time is limited, so it's kind of essentially annoying that you're asking me these questions. And then someone replied, red flags.
Yeah,
right.
I don't want to work for you.
You shouldn't be working for this woman up here.
Yeah, no, that's also really important. It's like, is this a good fit for me? And if you can't even give me your time to answer my questions, then what's the work environment going to be like?
Right.
Like, if I'm going to be a new person working for you and I'm going to have a lot of questions and you can't even, so I wouldn't want to work for that person's company.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to work there either.
And I think, honestly, I think we're going to probably change the work culture. The millennials, as much flack that they give us.
I hope so.
I really think with this grand resignation,
it's about time
that we're going to change work cultures.
Yeah, obviously there's more like entrepreneurship has gone like up, and just people just realize work for themselves or stuff like that. So I mean,
yes, but I think I agree. What I think also people, because not everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, but what I think people are realizing and finally waking up.
Fuck that job.
Yes, that. But it's also this idea, because I used to tell it to my students at the end of the school year, but we're the majority. Because I used to always tell my students, like, why do you listen to one person in a room? Y'all could literally just ransack this whole room. And they're like, right? And so it's the same thing with our jobs. We make the job function.
100%.
You're like Fred Hampton.
Am I?
Yeah.
Revolution!
I watched, kind of coming back to my traveling. So I watched Black Judas.
I saw. I read your story.
Messiah.
Yes.
Black
and the Messiah.
Black Messiah.
Yeah.
No,
I know
wait.
the HBO.
Is Judas and the Messiah?
Something like.
Yeah, I think it's Judas and the Messiah. Black Judas and the Messiah.
I was like, I thought Black was.
I think it's Black.
We
just butchered that title.
We will be googling.
I watched it, and I watched it around Martin Luther King's birthday.
Black Judas
and I feel like I was angered.
No, Judas and the Black Messiah.
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yes. Okay. The Black Messiah, the Capricorn. Right.
I'm the Googler, guys. I Google everything.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah. It angered me where it's just like, it'd be your own people, man. It'd be other people too.
All
obviously.
Skin folk ain't kinfolk is the saying.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
And it was just
it's a heavy movie.
It is, but
disturbing. So you're like the Fred Hampton of your class.
Yeah, you are the majority. I always tell my students, I'm like, you need to advocate for yourselves because you can. I'm one teacher, right? And you are 34 students.
I mean, it's like authority.
That's what they said. And it's just like, wipe that out your mind, because that's the same thing with the.
But then that comes with consequences, though.
That's fine. And I always tell them, I tell them like, there's choices.
Yes.
Right. And every choice is going to have a consequence. So you choose to just sit here and let a teacher, and it's not me, but it's, because I do like to have the kids do revolutions in the school. You have a teacher that's insulting you, or you have a teacher that is being racist or whatever. And it's just like, you sitting there and accepting it is a choice, and the consequence is you being disrespected, or your
and that teacher doing it in perpetuity.
Altered. Right, exactly. And the other choice is you rally up with the other 33 kids, and that's
boycott.
Also a consequence. And it was the same thing when they would do walkouts, because Gen Z loves doing walkouts, and I love that for them.
Yeah, shout out Brooklyn Tech.
They were the leaders of that. I didn't even know other schools did it. I thought they were the only school.
No, my little cousin put it on TikTok.
Brooklyn Tech is full
look at you guys following.
Full of leaders.
The elite.
Yeah, you guys were setting
shout
fires
out
a few years.
my alum.
Yeah,
hey.
That wasn't us.
Yeah, I didn't even go to Brooklyn Tech, but it's like I did.
You're like a techie.
Yeah.
Like an honorary techie.
Mm-hmm.
Just like she's an honorary
Adelphi.
Adelphian. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it feels good. It's a good school to be a part of. I wasn't a part, but it's
Absolutely. We bring you under and we take you.
yeah, fantastic people. Everyone I know that's gone to Brooklyn Tech that's actually a part of my life are all really good people. So I will,
You have any more traveling hacks, speaking of continents?
All right, so we have do your sinking fund ahead of time. If you the earlier the better, obviously.
Really trying to go to Dubai.
So it'll, not impact your budget. The next thing, not using third party. And then the third thing is to really, really plan out things that are important to you, right? Because you can cut out things that are not important.
Like my Lamborghini, that's important.
Yes, and you can fully fund that. Okay. I drive a Nissan, so
Yeah, but we're in Dubai.
I understand. I'm sure they have Nissan.
It's for my birthday. You know what? It's for my birthday. You can get in the Lamborghini with me.
Yes.
Okay.
Amazing. This is why I keep you around for a Lamborghini opportunity.
Yes.
But then, so for y'all, for women,
yeah,
if you're in Dubai, you don't have to always wear like the Muslim garments, or that's only when you're going to the temple.
I don't know. I find conflicting information.
From what my mother stated, because she just came back, she only wore the traditional garb for when she was going into their places of worship, so to the mosques.
Okay.
Or if she was in like public squares where it was just like not a super touristy area.
Like a mall.
Yeah, a mall, a market. I think they went to like the town market square, which she loved. But she was like, she wanted to respect their traditions. But if you're in like a touristy area or tourist thing, I don't think they're as strict about it. Yeah.
Nowadays, I feel like there's men that are like not really like they have this pretense of like they're like the alpha or like they're superior than women. I feel like a lot of that is going on.
Yes, all men that get podcasts, they just
yeah.
I wouldn't equate it to Sharia law because Sharia law could be very egregious, but I do think there is this like genre of men, because it's not all men. We don't want to generalize.
Right, it's not me. It's not me.
It's not you. We don't want to generalize, although we don't want to generalize.
Although it permeates like all cultures.
Yes.
Not only religious cultures.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, to some extent. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that every culture everywhere has just this genre of men.
Yeah.
That
a pool, like a little pool.
A little
I don't know
pool,
if it's little.
although it's getting seems rather large here.
Oh, okay.
This genre of men that just feel like women's existence is a bother to them. Any type of I hope so. You came from a woman.
Yes,
you love women too.
Wouldn't bore you.
I do love women. I love women.
Of course.
I stand for women. Like I support women.
Yeah.
And I believe women.
Me too.
And so this is
you believe them?
I mean, we wouldn't be here without women.
Yes, I believe women.
Like in what case do you mean you believe
tread lightly.
Like just like overall, like whatever, like if a woman says it, like that's just.
I believe it until it is proven incorrect.
Right.
And I tread lightly on this as well because I do have brothers, and I do know that some situations can be manipulated to harm, right? But I don't find that women intentionally, and I'm going to just generalize it, most women don't intentionally, lie about certain things because it is a very traumatic,
experience,
right? And that's not something that, if I'm angry at a man, my first instinct is not going to be like, I'm going to make up this horrible lie
ruin his life.
Can ruin his life. Because it's like I'm taking away from women who have actually experienced, that trauma.
I feel like some women do that though.
I don't.
But I mean, there's exceptions.
Okay, it's not right. Like, just like you said, there's the genre, of
and
the larger pool of men that feel a certain way about women.
Yeah, I think it's important to remind women again, which I don't think many women do this, which is the argument that men say like they're always making lies. I don't think the percentage is as high as people think, but for the women,
but also like what's your circle looking like, right? If you're saying they're always or never, like if you're using those type of words, then you need to reflect on your situations. Right.
I agree. I am always careful of superlatives because it's just like always and never are specific. There's no middle ground to that.
Right.
And so I find that any women that do, create these false accusations, all they're doing is harming women. Really, like yes, you might have hurt this man's outcome, but the women that are going through this, you're just making it harder for them to come forward and for people to believe them. You're casting more doubt on their stories. So yes, agreed. I believe women until it's proven incorrect. Always. I always
Yes.
believe women until it's proven incorrect.
Okay.
You don't think that's a good way?
Because I think once you start doubting, right? Like, look at the Jeff Epstein case, right? Like, these are children, and right, they're coming out decades later, and then they're questioning, like, why now?
Right.
Right? Because if we always had this culture of don't ask, don't tell, well, that's more for like, a homosexuality, but same thing for people of victims, right? Like, I'm not going to say because either I look a certain way, I come from a certain social economic status, like they're not going to believe me.
Right. Yes.
And this man was like really rich, right? With all the legal help I'm sure that he can get. So I think what we've been founded on or been taught that.
I think I'm on the equality of just like innocent until proven guilty, whether it's man or female.
I can understand that. I don't agree. And that's only because we are experiencing life completely differently. Like, I'm experiencing life as a woman, you're experiencing life as a man.
Right.
And so I cannot do that, only because historically I know that women are victim shamed, victim blamed. Well,
Okay.
what did you do? What were you wearing?
Exactly.
What did you say? How did you fight him off?
Right.
And it's just like, as a person who has a platform, it is my responsibility to uphold and uplift women because I never know who's following me that might have, gone through
Experience,
this.
right.
Right. And I want them to know that they have support behind them. So that is why I stand on that. But it is also my duty to disrespectfully attack the men that are out here in their little genre, because I find that most of the time they are very unintelligent.
I agree. Because even in my passing of seeing some of these egregious things that these men are saying about women or to women, is like, you obviously just have a small brain, or like
But then I think it's also about expanding your circles, right?
Yeah.
Like, again, like one of the ones that Melissa shared with us, this man was talking about like used vagina, right? Like, to me, like, that has so many like terrible, like, it's just, I don't even know how to unpack that besides anger, right? Because like, it's just, one, how dare use, like, so what do you refer to your penis, right? And
Exactly.
I thought it was really funny, but nobody laughed in the chat, but I called
Sorry.
it
I laughed
certified pre-owned, right? Like,
I
what,
laughed
like
in
your
person. I
penis
laughed at home.
is like, okay, right? Like, what about your used penis? So to me, like, again, like your social circles,
right,
and your exposure must be small, right? Because if your friends are uplifting or like encouraging you with these thoughts, then like the problem's you.
Yes, and I think they've had like an experience, or their friend has had an experience that's creating these ideas, and then you have other men that have had similar experiences. They rally to that. They want to support that. Like I'm not gonna say dated. I talked to a man who believed in this alpha male ideology, right? And he would always say, "I like to be dominant. I like to lead." And I'm like, "Well, I don't mind following, but give me something of substance to follow,
Yeah.
right? Like, you have nothing for me to want to follow. Why would I feel safe or secure following you? You're not leading, right?" And so this whole alpha male thing is this big topic of conversation. And then I bring into the conversation logical fallacies, which I mentioned in our previous chat. Like, I am huge on logical fallacies because they poke holes into people's arguments so quickly.
I love logic.
I love it. And so
like
people try to use, not math, I'm not going to math logic, but words and information and knowledge. So there's this whole big analogy going around, which I'm sure you've heard, the lock and key analogy, right? So it's like, women are not supposed to be promiscuous. Women are not supposed to have lots of sex. They're not supposed to enjoy sex because they're the lock, right? And if any key can open a lock, it's considered a bad lock, right? That's the analogy. And that
Disgusting.
men, they're supposed to be, on the prowl and supposed to be doing this because they have penises, and their penis is equivalent to a key. And if you have one key that could open multiple locks, that's a master key. That's a really good key. So a lock with multiple keys, bad lock, right? A
but
key
a
that
key
can open multiple doors, great
awesome.
lock, right?
Dangerous
so
is what it is.
I do not agree.
Right, because if we're gonna equate anatomy to keys and locks, right? So if I have this lock and I am not supposed to sleep with anyone but one person, how are you supposed to sleep with multiple women if that's how every other woman's supposed to act? That means you support sexual assault. And I have not heard a response yet on TikTok. Because are you forcibly opening all these?
No, absolutely not.
Exactly. So it's like, why are we using that analogy?
I mean,
because the two cannot exist. If you're going to be, on the prowl and sleeping with multiple women, but women can only sleep with one man, then what?
They want a faulty lock. They want many locks.
Like, how does that work?
Women give me the unlock code. They give it to me.
Oh. But that doesn't mean that the lock is not a good lock.
No, it's a great lock, actually. I love those locks.
Fantastic. But yes, any woman listening, once that analogy is brought up, please just ask that question.
I feel like people say like a Kevin Samuels, who have like a
I don't know what that is.
An opinion, and in this day and age, it's like clout is a very big thing.
Clickbait.
Yeah, that too. But it's like I call it like it's a gift and a curse. Like it's like the viral virus, where it's like people they see something works for one person, and they really try to like replicate and imitate that, thinking that they're gonna have like sort of the same outcome or close to it, where they can like then become a celebrity or a popular person and go forth from them. So I think that with that it just spawns a lot of little Kevin Samuels, or just to reference, that don't have the same mental capacity or wording or just thoughts. They'll just throw.
Yes. I call it the Joe Budden effect, and it's not to disrespect Joe Budden, because I know Joe Budden's not doing what these people are doing. But I know Joe Budden was the first, I'm going to say millennial. I don't know how old he is, but he is a millennial.
Like 41.
We'll give him millennial. I know that he was one of the first Black men, male, millennial-facing people to get a huge platform in the podcast,
he's
arena.
a pioneer. Yep.
Right. And because we were listening to him in 2017, like in Croatia, right? And so that created this group of people because Joe Budden can push buttons, and he can
very well
chaos.
Yeah, he pushes all the floors on the buttons.
The thing that people don't understand, that he does it purposely. Like it's a character. It's like it's dramatic. So he overextend. He screams. He's yelling. He'll probably say absurd things just for.
Yes. And so that's what I think. People were like, oh, he's getting really big off of like this chaos. But
right.
I also find that Joe Budden has a layer of intelligence that these podcasts do not. Because it's like, I ask you a follow-up question, you can't even answer. You don't even know what you're talking about. Like, you have nothing to stand on.
No
but
basis,
you're going off of Joe Budden's, model of he did this, so I'm going to do this and downplay all that. So that's what I call it. And again, it's not disrespecting Joe Budden. I do think he carved a really nice space in the, the
podcast
influencer world.
Right.
Yeah. I just think that people who are following suit are not giving what they think they're giving, and it's just nonsense on the air.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And I have this follow-up quote, guys, because, I love quotes and deep things.
Tell it to us.
So, and I think this is where I think what happens a lot is people gravitate, right? Like-minded people kind of gravitate to each other because, right, you're saying the things I want to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. Confirmation bias.
And so this guy, Adam Grant, he's been quoted everywhere nowadays, but essentially he's like, great minds don't think alike. They challenge each other to think differently. Yes. The people who teach you the most are the ones who share your principles but not your thought processes. Converging values draw you to similar questions. Diverging views introduce you to new answers. So to me, right, like we all have essentially the same foundation, right? And how we're going to go back to the tree analogy, guys, because I love trees. Right? We all have the same trunk, but right, our branches kind of go out, but our leaves kind of overlap. So I think it's important that, yes, you do kind of gravitate to people who will elevate you, who will support you, who will share some of your values, but also to challenge you, right? To challenge your ways of thinking. Because that's why I think I love logic, right? Like if A then B, right? But then you throw in another I don't even know what
variable,
another
Yeah.
variable, right? What do you do to that logic, right? And I think Adam Grant had another thing is like, I gotta find it now. Shit. Essentially, right? Like you get new information, you reevaluate your logic,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
you evolve, and I think
That's why I love
we're tying
reading.
it right back to evolution.
Yeah.
Right? You can remain stagnant, that's okay, but you can't be frustrated about your stagnation if you don't even have the willpower to evolve.
Right. And I think a lot of people will be like, oh, but I don't want to change. Like, I don't want to, if I get popular, I'm going to keep the same group of friends. That's fine. But you need to be open to new people being in your circle. It doesn't mean they got to be your best friend, but it's just like, as we grow and as we elevate and as we enter new, areas in our life, you need to put different people around you. It's the same thing with like, as we gain wealth, right? We're not going to be hanging around with our third grade friend who is like, I don't want to talk about investing. It's like, well, okay, well, we're gonna put you in this little pocket right here.
Actually,
that's what I do.
I was on my run today. I listened to this Jack Harlow song.
I love Jack Harlow.
It was like,
love him. It don't make sense why I love him.
That's usually what I do with my friends of sense, where I just have the like little subgroups of I know certain topics of interest I can speak to with this group of friends. I know what when I want to be introspective or like deep, I can speak to this. Like I can't
you
take
have
this.
To you have to have so many different things. And
and like when it comes to like even like evolving and stuff, is like, say for instance like pre-pandemic and like post-pandemic, you can't do the same things we did previously.
I miss pre-pandemic life.
Right, that
I can't remember
now that
it,
we
to be
have
honest.
You can't
the pandemic. Yeah, like say
But my recall memory's trash.
like when we used to like birthdays and like blow on candles and stuff. Now, if there's a cake and somebody blowing candles, like
I know. I
like,
never.
But honestly, I don't think that's how it works, guys. But
it works like that. It works like that. Because if you just sit there and just think about someone spitting on this cake.
You're assuming it's spit.
That's spit when you're blowing. There's
It's air. It's just air.
Oh, I just blew into the mic. Sorry.
yeah. It's particles. It's droplets.
I feel you. I agree.
You're a doctor. You know these things.
I agree.
There's things, and then and then say the candle doesn't go out the first time. Say if it's a lot of candles, so you're just spreading around, just
I know.
blowing.
You're right.
And then
But then
you
let's
slice
just
the
use
cake
that same
and just
logic, right?
divvy it out to everyone.
Let's say it was flu season. Somebody had a flu. How many people caught flu off of eating a piece of cake?
We don't know.
I don't know. What I definitely miss about pre-pandemic life is just the like doing things and enjoying and not having to think like, damn.
The spontaneity of
Yeah,
things.
I miss it. Like, yes, I know the birthday cake thing is a little nasty in retrospect, but it's just like now I gotta be like, okay, get me a cupcake to blow on, cut this cake, like, yay, like it's just these extra steps of precaution. I'm tired.
Or you just don't have candles anymore.
Ugh, fine.
I think like a lot of things with the pandemic just X'd out. Like there's no use for them anymore, or you just find a different way to do
it's
a lot
true.
of things.
And the thing is, at least we know we're doing things, right? There are people like, I'm tired of this pandemic, and then they try to do things from pre-pandemic. It's just like, no, because now you're putting everyone at risk. It's like, yes, I'm tired, but I'm still gonna follow the rules, I guess. It's just, I just miss it. Like I miss Uber pools so much.
Yeah.
You
Even
know?
like last night, right? We dropped off my daughter to my mom's. We're like, oh, let's do a date night. Like I haven't worn mascara like for months, and let's do something. I'm like, you know what? But then what if we catch COVID and then you're gonna have to stay at home and then like
and then the type of places or you have to like pre screen and like it's just everything has become steps like traveling was like coming back was a pain because so I had like a layover and everything, and it was just like the screening process of COVID testing and the time you took it and the right test,
the PCR
and and then it's just like trying to catch fraudulent stuff, and then it's like a holdup and everything is just like backed up, so it just makes the experience just like doggy. Like,
having to set aside time, like when we were in Mexico, we had to set aside time to
and then
go
expenses
get tested.
too.
Yes.
The what?
That test was $70 American.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like,
it's
pesos?
very expensive.
They're like dollars. I'm like,
yeah, man.
It's
the new scam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, not fun.
And then also like it's my daughter's second Zoom birthday party.
I know.
Zoom,
Yeah. But you know what's the nice thing? That I don't need to clean up after people, and her college savings account looks way better.
Yeah, 529 pop it.
Yes, because you can't bring me toys because you're not gonna see me. So just
deposit it.
Okay?
Yeah, that's true. And she did have a really great first birthday.
Yeah.
She had like 2 parties, like a one like in a hall and then one in your apartment.
Yes.
See, so
the week before we did like a little.
We were pre-planning.
Yeah, it was expensive, man. But that's it. No more parties.
Maybe when she's 4.
Sweet 16.
Oh.
Quinceañera.
Yeah.
So,
but no party. We're gonna fly somewhere.
what do you think? This post-pandemic life is gonna. You think things are gonna like stay? Things are gonna go back to normal, or
there's no more normal.
there's no more.
Yeah.
This is
I mean, it's a new normal.
Yeah.
I think it's important to say. But I also think, right, one of the things I think that people criticize American culture is that we don't have this sense of collectiveness, right? It's everything is very individualistic principles, right? Like my rights, like my community, my. And I think what the pandemic forced us to see is like, bro, your my is costing me my, right? Yes. Like, so like if we don't have this sense of collectiveness, which is why we are in year 3 of this nonsense, right? And also like just not the US, right? Like we are here like, yes, promoting booster shots when there's countries who can't even get first doses, right? So this collectiveness, like this civil duty of public health, right? And I think that's why I love public health, because it's so grounded in group effort, but it's hard to make people understand that there's consequences to your damn actions, right? You don't wear a mask because it's uncomfortable to you. Guess what? You just infected like 30 people.
Yeah, even like I seen an article like some flight couldn't take off or turned around because somebody on the plane refused to like.
Oh yeah, I just read that today too on Twitter. They had to get grounded.
It's like ridiculous.
Yeah, I will say this pandemic has heightened my awareness, or maybe more cognizant of my own need to be socially responsible. I never realized how important social responsibility was to me until like I'd be in a situation where I was behaving socially irresponsible and I would want to die. Because there was a time where Shakira and I were doing a photo shoot and we were running around different areas in Brooklyn, and I dropped my mask, didn't even realize, and then we had to go into a mall area to go to the bathroom to change. And walking into that mall without my mask, I was like, oh,
yeah, you feel naked.
They're gonna think like I'm like on the right, like they're gonna think I'm like actively making this choice, and I'm just like, so I'm walking like this. And I just, social responsibility, it shows us, the pandemic has definitely shown us who cares about being socially responsible for others and who's just like, I don't care,
fuck it.
Yeah, and I don't want to be on that side. So I never thought about it, but I was just like, no, I'm socially responsible. Like math, I'm like, I'll do everything because, you know, I just want to make sure that people around me, like my friends, my family, people I don't know, like I want to make sure that they're okay.
Yeah, I give people a side eye if I'm somewhere and they're just there
side-eye's not
without
enough.
the mask.
Yes, like
side eye is not enough. People are ruthless.
So ridiculous. So I go to the gym. My dad yesterday was like, "Oh, you know, make sure you protect yourself." I was like, "I'm protecting everybody else." There's people in the gym just like in your face, no mask. I'm like, "Are you not ashamed?"
Mm-hmm. Especially the people on the treadmill. Yeah, I run with the mask.
Me too.
Because
that's what I'm saying. People are like, "Oh, I'm uncomfortable." I'm like, I was working out in the summer in a mask.
But then people like, and what pisses me off, and I guess, you know, as a medical professional, right? Like surgeons have been wearing masks.
Yeah.
Forever, right? Like you literally go into the OR, you gotta scrub yourself for like from here to here, like even under your nails. Then you have to like walk like this to be sterile. Then you have to have someone put some gloves on you, and this is why you have like a mask on, a hairnet on, and all of this under this bright ass light, standing for you don't even know how long, right? Because if there's a complication in the OR, hours, right? So I'm like, I don't understand how physicians, nurses, like surge techs, like all of us can do this for hours, but again, your discomfort, your individualistic concern is just, I can't it's no,
it's like you can.
You can.
You definitely can. Like, I think about the amount of hours I've spent in that mask in a day doing things, and then I get home and I take it off. I'm just like, That's like, I was also fine. Like, I was fine.
He wasn't suffocating.
Yeah.
He wasn't choking.
Like, like,
and even if you think about it, right, the elite athletes work with
that mask, that
Darth Vader thing, right, to like
control it,
improve their lung capacity. I don't even know the science behind it, but like, right. So if you're rich people are doing this, like, I don't know. It's just
no. I agree.
I is tired.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
But now here we go into year 3.
Yeah, we're entering year 3.
Oh, I feel so bad for the kids that are like 5 to 7 who have experienced school like this only, who have no recollection.
Nothing.
Yeah.
But then also there's kids who don't know how to write. Literally, a principal told me there's kindergartners that don't know how to hold a pencil.
Well, yeah, they've been at home.
So.
You know? And I'm like, oh, the kids who like, they're going to college in this experience, they're graduating high school, all of that. Like, I felt bad, but it's really the 5 to 7-year-olds because they know nothing else. Like, they started kindergarten.
And you're pushing them along. You fail, you go. You
and now
pass,
they're in
you go.
3rd grade, and this is all they know. I'm just like, geez.
Yeah, man, it's rough. But with that, we give you light, positivity, love, peace, all the good things that come into this new year. And we hope you join us in our next episode. Drop a comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
The deal. We don't know what's yet to come, but another episode will come.
Big facts.
All right, guys.
Bye.